And it looks like they are off.
1-1 at this point. I think everyone's seen it by now, but all right, they are getting the mushroom before they make the crazy turtle jump.
Yeah, I wanted to pick up that mushroom because eventually you do want to get a tail in the first fortress. So the fastest mushroom to get on your way there is to get the mushroom here in 1-1. So pretty solid 1-1 from both runners here.
How does this P-speed early on in 1-2? I still don't know how this works, but Lawso hasn't.
Yeah, it's actually very, very precise with how you get it. You need to really manipulate the P meter in order to only be checking whether or not you're going to be gaining P speed, and then kind of get in the air really quick and then kind of land before the game checks again. So the way the game checks if you have P speed or not is really interesting. I could talk about it for about a half hour, but not going to waste your time with that. But just it's really manipulating that P speed in order to get that speed just a little bit early. We see both runners grabbing quickly, flying up, picking up the whistle that everybody learned about from the wizard. Since it says Warpless, they won't be able to use that whistle, but that is the fastest way to clear the first fortress. So that's why they both flew up to grab that whistle.
I think Lawso has a very slight edge here, at least going into 1-5.
Yeah, it's pretty close, but I think Lawso's had a little bit of cleaner movement so far. But it's World 1. This is a 50-minute plus category, so there's a ton of race still left. But I think we're a little off sync right now, but I think overall Lawso might have a slight edge.
Not off sync by that much as they're going into this Superman jump here. Both of them getting P-speed. I'm glad that little gap in the platform didn't mess with either of them. Both of them able to make the jump all the way to the end of the stage, not have to ride the elevator. I'm also getting 2 movements from that Hammer Brother for what that half second's worth. And they're both going to grab the Fire Flower here. The screen fades back out to the map the same amount of time no matter what happens after you grab that chest, so that's a nice convenient time to grab the Fire Flower without freezing an airship or anything else along the way. I think we have some game sound now. There is a slight hum there, but...
Yeah, we had a little bit of an issue with audio, but I think we're getting it squared away here. Sorry about that. Lawso's audio has a little bit of a hum on his capture card, so I think we'll stick with Horsedad's audio for this race. But I think we're good again.
Fortunately, it's Airship 1, which doesn't have all that much going on it. You gotta teach the player what airships are all about here, I guess, and not really do anything too much.
Yeah, this is, another one of those just brand new things that Mario 3 kind of introduces. It's all kind of common knowledge now, but it's something completely different. So pretty straightforward. As we see, Horsedad goes for the fire kill, gets hit, unfortunately. Lawso does get the fire kill. Looks like about a 335-1 grab for Lawso, a 337 for Horsedad. So a slight lead coming out of World 1 here for Lawso.
Yep, Lawso taking a little bit of extra time on that fire kill. Did have a stomp in there just to help it out, but he still has fire as well. That's good for World 2. So I'm trying to think. There's not a legitimate fire flower that's easy to get in World 2 until the airship, I think.
Yeah, there's really no spot to get it until that airship. Fortunately for Horsedad, there's really only a couple of spots where that fire flower is going to really come into play. But anytime you're kind of not on that power-up state that you want to be at, it is a little bit worrying. So we'll see how it goes as our runners move into World 2. One thing to note is that Hammer Bros start to become really, really important here in World 2. There's one Hammer Bro we can see on stage right now that has a music box. There's another one off-screen right now that has a hammer. There's a really small % chance of that hammer actually making his way over and our runners being able to fight them early. Which would give them a major, major advantage if that does happen. But they do also want to kind of keep track, make sure that they, if they can, escape with just that hammer and skip over that music box for now. But we'll kind of see how it all plays out as they kind of all have to react to the RNG of what the game gives them here.
Lawso maintaining that lead through 2-1 and 2-2. 2-Fort-1 is 2-Fort-1, the only one. Be interesting to see if either of them can get the early P-Speed here. Neither one using a star to get the easy P-Speed or any other strat. And Horsedad taking a little extra time to get through that first room.
Yeah, unable to get that P-Speed quite as quickly as Lawso did. There's going to be another spot here where Lawso's going to be able to gain a little bit of time. This is kind of that one spot I was talking about where having that Fire Flower is useful. Boom Boom kills are much quicker if you can use 5 fireballs as opposed to jumping on him 3 times. So we see Lawso cleaning up that fight nice and quick. Horsedad kind of having to wait for Boom Boom to go through his invincibility frames and whatnot. But overall, Horsedad doing his best to keep close to Lawso here.
Yeah, every little bit of time is going to help Lawso out, even with all the RNG and everything else later on. Any bit of lead he can get just to secure a bigger lead would to protect RNG will be good. To that end, he is going for Red Rocket here. Saw him practicing that before the race. It's a nice red rocket. Yeah,
so you saw how that red shell just fired through those bricks really, really quickly as opposed to Horsedad using that green shell. That strat really, if it saves anything, it's really only a very, very small amount of time because picking up the red shell and getting the lag you get from having that shell on screen the whole time kind of cuts into the lead that you would gain from it. But it's a very swaggy strat, and Lawso is definitely one to not avoid swag if he can. So it's a strat he likes to go for in races.
Angry Sun level, pretty standard here. There's not much to worry about except for maybe that sun deciding to swoop when you're coming down from a jump, but easy stage. I think they're both going to go to 2-5 here. You can do 2-5 or 2-4, basically, depending on which way that Hammer Brother went. 2-5 is the easier stage, so I'm sure they're both at least a little happy about that.
Yeah, 2-4 is slightly quicker, but you really want to, in Warpless, just follow that Hammer Bro. Wherever he's walking, that's kind of where you want to go. So both of them had that bro walk over down towards 2-5, so they decided to go that way. So we see Lawso picking up his hammer. Horsedad's going to have to fight the hammer after the pyramid here.
Pyramid surprisingly faster without a tail, despite all these brick walls.
Yeah, by kind of manipulating your P-speed and using these buzzy beetle shells to break through the blocks, you can actually get through this stage pretty quickly. But it's a very, very technical stage, especially early on, one of the most technical stages to have to go through. Looks like both of them get through it pretty nicely there.
Just a little hold up for Lawso at the end. Horsedad still is going to have to deal with the Boomerang Bro here. So Lawso will be on this airship first.
Yeah, I'm actually very interested to see what happens here. Morton Fire Kill is one that's pretty possible, but it really depends on kind of your movements, both the Hammer Brother movements you get on the overworld before you enter and kind of where you enter from. And Horsedad's also going to have to pick up the Fire Flower, which will delay things a little bit. So I'm curious to see if he kind of knows what pattern he's going to get from Morton here, or if he's going to decide to just go for a jump kill. Lawso should have a pretty good idea of what kind of pattern he's going to get. But Horsedad might get something a little interesting. So I'm seeing if I'm interested to see if he decides to just kind of play it safe here, or if he decides to still go for that fire kill.
The margin here, as of grabbing the anchor to board the airship, is about 4.5 seconds between the two of them.
Yeah, so Lawso did pick up a couple of seconds. I think most of that is due to that fire kill on Boom Boom, really. I mean, otherwise these guys have been going pretty much blow for blow here in World 2.
Yep. Horsedad does have 22 coins, but his brick count is okay. I don't think there's really a lot of bricks in World 3 early on to break.
No, and he'll have spots where his coin count will differ. We'll kind of talk about that a little bit later about why that's all important. But looks like Lawso just going for a jump kill here. I think Horsedad might do the same. Looks okay. He's going for that fire kill. He either knew what pattern he was going to get or recognized it very quickly. So he was able to clean up that fire kill, gain a little bit of time. Looks like, again, about a 2-second lead for Lawso coming out of World 2.
Yeah, I mean, that... I'm not sure it wasn't a little bit more than 2 seconds. But, yeah, he ate up most of the lead right there.
Yeah, I mean, and that really shows you, especially, this late in the tournament, that those couple of extra seconds you can get from a fire kill or from going for a strat that's a little riskier can really make a difference. So it's really cool to see the runners kind of pulling out all the stops in order to get the best time they can here. So moving into World 3, the bros again can be very, very important.
One of these bros has a hammer, the other a star, but it's the drawbridges that really matter here.
Right. You'll see these drawbridges on the overworld as the runners complete stages. They'll move up and down every time Mario exits a stage. And there's actually a bridge on the other side that kind of does the opposite. And basically what the runners are going to want to do is make their way through the first half of the world and have that drawbridge set up so that they can cloud past 3-6 and go straight to 3-8, which effectively skips most of the second half of World 3. As we see Horsedad getting the early 3-2 P-speed. 3-2 is a stage that no matter how you slice it is very, very difficult. And Horsedad just crushed it there, getting that P-speed and maintaining it throughout. Lawso able to do a pretty good non-P-speed strat as well, but it looks like Horsedad does take a slight advantage here. But to go back
just flipped.
Yeah, to go back to what we're talking about, it's very important, as we see over on Lawso's screen, that Hammer Bro just ran away. So now Lawso's not going to be able to get the bridges in the way that he wants them unless that bro comes back or he takes a death. Obviously, you don't want to take a death, as a death loses a lot of time, so he's going to hope that that bro comes back so he doesn't have to take an intentional death.
Good job not dying in 3-3. On to 3-4-1. I don't think we're going to see the meme strat of third door, even though it saves a little bit of time.
You know, Lawso might just decide to go for it here, especially with that runaway bro. Maybe he's just going to try and do it. He's going for it. Unable to get it.
Lawso, don't do it.
So, Lawso trying to go for a one-frame trick there. You can actually re-enter that door before the game decides, oh, hey, Mario's not standing on anything. He should be falling. But if you miss it, as you see, you have to kind of go back and swim through that whole little section. So a little bit of time lost there for Lawso, unfortunately. We see Horsedad fighting that first bro. He's in a slight bit of risk here that this other bro could run away. Okay, he does get a good movement there, so he's okay.
Lawso's going to have to fight this bro whether he wants to or not at this point. Taking the choice away from him of going through 4-4-1 or taking the death. I think he would have wanted the hammer anyway, though.
Yeah, I think in general you don't want to skip both bros if you can't, but yeah, it looks like Lawso taking a death here in 3-4. I'm not sure exactly where that bro's been walking around, but you can sometimes tell that that bro is just not going to come back. And taking the death in 3-4 allows him to get back up to Fire Flower. So this is kind of a race strat that Lawso's deciding to go for here, as we see Horsedad cleaning up 3-4, and now he'll be using that cloud to go straight to 3-8.
Also dying early so he can grab this Fire Flower, because the first rule of Mario 3 is do not die in 3-8. You just use that cloud to skip a level. You don't get that cloud back if you lose a life here. And Boss Bass, well, bad things can happen.
Yeah, of course, one of the most perilous stages to die in has the one-hit KO in Boss Bass, so it's pretty scary, you know, even at any level, just to kind of have that worry of I could just die and instantly destroy my run here. As we see, looks like Lawso making sure he takes care of Boss Bass, and he'll be all right as well. Horsedad moving to the H jump here. And very nice, very clean, gets over the H.
Bad news for Lawso is that Hammer Bro is between 3-8 and 3-9, so he's going to have to fight it anyway.
Yeah, you can sometimes you save a little bit of time, especially because it's just a star. You can really work around it, not have to worry about it. But that bro kind of, unfortunately, getting stuck between 3-8 and 3-9 means Lawso has to clear it out anyways. So really, he just took that death and really didn't gain anything in the process. So with that, and with a little bit of better execution, Horsedad is the first one into the World 3 airship. We see Lawso getting that H jump. Nice little turn back to adjust his speed there.
Very nice. Horsedad's going to try and keep fire through the airship, not just because, you know, it's normally what you want to do. Wendy is probably the most evil of the Koopalings as far as jump kills go, but also surprisingly the easiest fire kill, so really don't want to have to deal with where those rings go bouncing around the room. You just want to have fireballs and really just hit Wendy 10 times with him.
Yeah, that's really the biggest reason, I think, why Lawso decided to take that death in 3-4, so we could get that Fire Flower for this kill. The Wendy Fire kill, since it's just a nice flat stage, is really pretty straightforward, especially for runners of this caliber. So whereas the jump kill can get a little perilous, so, and obviously it's a little bit faster to get the fire kill, so Lawso just deciding to do it that way. But pretty clean run so far through Horsedad. He had a little bit of a hiccup in World 1, but overall since then he's been playing really solidly.
Also playing a little extra cautiously there through the gauntlet. Nice fire kill from Horsedad. Yeah,
really good fire kill. Looks like a 15-42-1 grab in World 3 for Horsedad. We'll kind of see exactly what kind of lead he has once Lawso finishes out Wendy.
Also making his approach.
Oh, he unfortunately had those fireballs jump over Wendy. Sometimes, oh man, this Koopa Kid hitbox, he takes a hit. Does finally finish out the kill. Looks like a 16-25-1 grab, but he is going to go into World 4 without fire.
Also is in need of some help here. The Horsedad loses fire in 4-1.
Yeah, going for a very difficult P-speed setup in 4-1. Unfortunately, doesn't get it and takes a hit.
Losing fire in World 4 isn't terrible. You don't really need it until the fort at the end, and, well, you have fire by then anyway.
Yeah, there's
a fire flower in the level.
Yeah, I mean, other than just, having a little extra safety, there's not really a whole lot of strats that you'll have to change up without that fire flower. Some slight variations here and there, but overall should be able to make it through the stages pretty normally.
Those fireballs going through Wendy and really any other Koopaling that it happens to, their hitboxes are pretty much just their head. So if Wendy decides to hop across the room instead of just walking across the room, it's very easy for her to just dodge fireballs for no real reason. Yeah, so it's just kind of that timing was just a little bit off, and so he happened to have those fireballs be at their lowest point while Wendy was at her highest point, and so they just kind of accidentally go through her. So just something you gotta kind of deal with sometimes. This game has very interesting hitboxes at times. But we see Horsedad moving through 4-3, very clean. This is I think a lot of people list this as their favorite stage because it's a lot of fun. Is the how-to P-speed stage, since it takes a little bit of work without a star to maintain P-speed at the beginning of it through those buzzy beetles. And then once you kind of get going in that stage, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. You're making these impossible jumps.
So we're seeing some interesting luck there from Horsedad. Actually gets the Star Bro to run all the way past the Cloud Bro. So normally you'll fight that Cloud Bro kind of early on in the world, and then you'll have to deal with the RNG of the P-Wing Bro and the Star Bro later. But Horsedad getting that Star Bro in his way right away kind of makes things a little interesting. He's going to have to kind of work around that RNG. I'm interested to see what he decides to go for here. As we see Lawso taking a hit towards the end of 4-3. He's going to be small Mario. See what he does in 4-4.
Yeah, you still kind of want to go over the top of the level, skip as much of the swimming as you can, but at the same time, the Lakitus at the end have a penchant for sniping Mario. Having a mushroom, not a bad idea in that situation.
Yeah.
So it's Lawso's choice here.
All right, so it looks like Horsedad is going to decide just to fight the P-Wing as well. So he'll be able to actually skip past the first two bros in the beginning of World 5. Depending on how the bros shake out for Lawso, he might do the same, or he might decide to use a music box here in World 4 to skip past those bros. It's kind of, you want to get one P-Wing out of the set of 4 between the end of World 4 and the beginning of World 5. So see Horsedad doing some really swanky manipulation there. Unfortunately, is in the air a little too long, loses his P-speed, but is able to get out of 4-6 at least. Lawso does grab that mushroom in 4-4, swims through the rest of the stage pretty normally, no hiccups there.
Lakitu staying out of this one.
Yeah, Lakitu knows this is an important match, doesn't want to decide it on his own. You see, Horsedad actually has a potential boxless setup, so he could actually skip past these World 4 bros without having to use a music box. which would mean he could potentially try and skip the music box in World 5. It's a lot of luck required for that all to work out, but it is a potentially pretty big time save if it does work out for Lawso.
He needs all the time saves he can get right now. It'd be really nice to see those move out of the way for him.
And there's one good movement. He's got to hope for one more good movement here to get this boxless.
He might actually be able to all three.
Yeah, he might actually be able to just grab the P-Wing here, too. I'm not sure. I know the P-Wing Bro, this is kind of one of the new things we've just discovered, that certain Hammer Bros will face certain ways once they stop moving. I know that the P-Wing Bro faces to the right when it stops moving, so if that one does run into Lawso and it's facing right, he might just fight it anyways. We'll see here, though. We'll see what happens. But hey, he gets the boxless. Very nice there. So good time save there from Lawso. Can save even more time in World 5 if he gets lucky as well.
Yeah, Lawso needs all the time he can get because he's at least the entire 3-9 behind Horsedad still. And he had to grab that mushroom in 4-3. Lawso, please.
While we're sitting on this World 4 airship, I guess we can talk about why our runners are deciding to get to the coin counts that they are. So something that we kind of mentioned before we moved into World 3, but we haven't really talked about too much, are coin chips, which are something that happened in this game. If your coin count is a multiple of 11, like the 66, for instance, and the tens digit of your score is that same number in Worlds 1, 3, 5, and 6, basically the worlds that have normal Hammer Bros, it'll turn one of those into a coin chip, which is kind of cool if you're a casual player. It's a nice like auto-scroller with lots of coins. You can get a bunch of lives. It's really fun. But as I said, it's an auto-scroller, so it's something you want to avoid as a speedrunner. So throughout the run, these runners will be adjusting their coins, adjusting their score, just a bunch of different stuff in order to kind of avoid that coin chip. So that's kind of why they went to the 69 coins here on the World 4 airship. It's a good number to move into World 5 with. It's a nice
good number too.
It's a very nice fire kill there from Horsedad. Looks like he's going to grab the wand at 22-25.
Iggy has a hitbox that is described as existent in a mysterious place. It's Schrodinger's hitbox, really, because he can jump fast enough that by the time the game checks to see is Mario stomping this enemy, Iggy's already like basically halfway into Mario's hitbox, and the game just deals damage to Mario and not to Iggy. So getting a fire kill there, not dealing with that mess, really good.
Yeah, Horsted's been, other than that Larry fire kill, has been pretty on point with his fire kills so far, so he's been saving a good chunk of time there from that.
Also getting a solid jump kill here as Horsedad moves into 5-1. Trying to solidify this lead.
Looks like a 23:09 wand grab for Lawso. So if I can do math, it's about a 35-second lead. Maybe I can do. Maybe can I do math? 45. Maybe I can't do math. Yeah, we'll say it's a stage lead. There we go. Thank you. As
Horsedad busted into 5-2.
Nice. I like that. I see what you did there, and I really appreciate it.
Feels good.
Feels real good. But Horsedad, not afraid of falling down into that pit, takes the top route, which is much faster and much easier.
To get that jump. I remember people would always like hold the right wall, and now people are like swinging across at like the last minute.
Yeah, you can actually, I think if you use the like top of your TV with one of the bricks showing up to kind of swing over to the right, you can get like right on that block and just bounce straight up. It saves like, I think about 3/4 of a second or something like that if you do it right. I forget the actual timing.
Feels right.
But, yeah, it's a riskier strat, but worth it, especially if you can get the timing for it. It's pretty safe too. Like once you understand the timing, it's pretty okay.
I'm also having a mini adventure there while Horsedad goes through kind of one of the more fun fortresses in the game.
Yeah, Ground Fort. Lawso actually does list that as his favorite stage. It's a really fun. It's another one of those stages where things just kind of line up just right. So when you're running through it at P speed, everything kind of just gets out of the way just in time, and it looks really cool. So, Horsedad moving into the tower now. This is a stage that requires some very, very precise management of your P meter while you're moving through these different pipes and whatnot. It's a tough stage to keep P speed throughout. Looks like Horsedad able to do it through the first 3 rooms. We'll see if he can keep it through the rest of this tower here.
I'm also getting through ground fort with no trouble at all.
And very,
really
very good tower
get
there.
It by Boom Boom after I said that. And Horsedad getting off of 77 coins.
So Lawso decides here to use a P-Wing to use a music box to skip past the bros here on the ground. So he's gonna, I believe,
he's short of P-Wing.
Yeah, he's gonna be short of P-Wing. I'm trying to remember if he wants to pick up this music box at the top of World 5 or not. I think he does.
He does not. Oh, because he put it to sleep. Yes.
Yeah.
He did not get Beats by Bro in World 2.
Right.
Horsedad into 5-5.
Yeah, very nice. That's a very tough early P speed to get. So Horsedad doing well to get it, having a really solid World 5 so far. He's on 88 coins, but his bricks are okay, and he's going to get some coins coming up here in 5-7, so he should be fine there.
As Lawso goes into 5-4, Horsedad into 5-7. I like what your usual explanation of this is. The levels aren't terribly difficult up here in the sky, but you are over a giant chasm for most of them.
Yeah, nothing in this world is really, really all that difficult compared to some of the other, technical stages, but it's a very punishing section of the run because any mistake that you do make can oftentimes end up with death. So it's kind of a section that's a little scary, even though it's usually pretty straightforward. So Horsedad picking up that music box now. He'll be moving on through the final couple stages here in World 5. Lawso making his way through 5-5.
Had a little trouble with P-Speed in 5-5. Horsedad, though, in Skyfort, the engineering feat of the early 90s, with lava on both the floor and the ceiling. Contact your Bowser engineer today to inquire about lava-filled ceilings.
Why would you even want lava on your ceilings?
It's really just for show.
It's gotta be, because there's no practicality to that.
Well, it's for show, and if you live in Alaska. The heating is good.
Using lava as insulation? I don't know. Is it cold up on the sky? It probably is. It's colder at higher elevations.
True.
Maybe it's a central heating issue. Maybe we solved this.
That's all it was the whole time. Boom Boom was cold.
Just a central heating issue.
That's why he's
that makes so much sense now.
Mood lighting.
Horsedad skipping over the worst stage in the game, 5-9, moving into the World 5 airship. There was a very scientific and not biased poll taken, and everybody agreed that 5-9 is the worst stage in the game.
I don't remember answering that question. I didn't agree.
Everybody that answered the question said that 5-9 is the worst stage in the game.
All right, I'll take that. We didn't talk about 5-8 while Horsedad was in it. Lawso's going in there now. It's the stage Nintendo Power claims you can't get through without getting hit. So both of them looking to prove Nintendo Power wrong here. Horsedad on Roy's airship. Actually, I feel like it's a lot like Larry's airship in that there's nothing really notable about it. There's no, death-defying section of this. The closest it has is this gauntlet coming up after this raised cannon here. But it's not too hard to get on top of it and just skip the whole thing.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 different strategies you can use just to get on top of this this gauntlet, and then once you do, you can kind of just hang out towards the right side of the screen, and you just really don't have to worry about those cannonballs getting in your way. And even if you don't get up there, there's really no RNG on any airships. Everything kind of behaves exactly how it normally would. So even if you do have to go through the gauntlet, you kind of know exactly what you're getting yourself into, so making it through isn't too bad. We see a 29-21 wand grab for Horsedad as he moves his way out of World 5. Lawso still a little bit behind. It's also down a P-Wing, so we'll have to kind of adjust his strategies probably here in World 6 in order to kind of make an adjustment there. We'll see what happens.
I saw him practicing 6-10 again before this race, and I think he played 6-10 at least once in rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah, he has gone the 610 fire route, so I think that might be what he decides to go for here again. But there's a couple of different things he can do kind of in order to dodge not having this P-Wing. We'll see what he decides to go for. So Horsedad moving down to the pipe and using this hammer he's got to skip past 6-1, 6-2, and 6-3. He's going to get another hammer from this hammer bro because I guess he just feels bad that Mario doesn't have a hammer. And he'll use that later on to skip past 6-7, which is another auto-scroller. As we see a 30-15-1 grab for Lawso.
So Horsedad moving up here, taking the magic carpet up to the spikes. Magic carpet's really slow, and he has 2 power-ups, so I'm going to take a run here. It's okay, though, because with Small Mario, he's going to go for the star kill of Boom Boom, barely jumping over these atomic waffles. All right, he's got to be quick. Running under here with P-Speed is the main reason you want to be small to do this.
Hi, Boom Boom.
Bye, Boom Boom.
So yeah, you can actually use that star to just instantly kill the Boom Boom. See, Horsedad getting a little bit of a marathon there. Yeah. So what happened there? We didn't see it because it was off screen, but the bros decided to walk onto the same step there, and they actually just kept picking the same place to go back to. So until they split up, Mario, you can't really, you can't do anything. You don't have control of Mario, so you have to just wait for them to do their thing. But Horsedad getting 6-4 P-Speed, which is actually sub-pixel dependent, meaning you can do everything right, but the game can just decide, no, you're not quite on that right sub-pixel, so you don't get P-Speed. So very nice there for Horsedad to get that. See Lawso grabbing the star here in 6F1, going to also get that star kill. And Horsedad moving through 6-5 very nicely here.
Does he still have a despawn? He does. The intended strat here is to grab that Koopa at the bottom of the stage, kick it around. It's kind of one of the puzzle levels in the game. The only exit requiring a tail in that Koopa shell, or at least a despawn and knowledge of how sprite loading in this game works.
Yeah, so we see Horsedad actually moving over to fight this bro. He can tell which one is the cloud because of, again, how I mentioned earlier that you can kind of tell based on the way that they're facing. So he knows that that one that's facing to the left is the cloud, so that's what he wants. He's skipping over this other one, which has a star, and he's going to move straight into 6F2.
Also is going to have both Hammer Bros on the other side of 6-5. Not a huge deal, but it makes it more likely that he'll have to fight both no matter what he wants to do. Also, not liking his setup is going to grab the shell. Horsedad doing the nice fly under the ice blocks strat in 7-4-2. 6-4-2, I should say. And we haven't really talked about the fact that if you have a tail, you tend to lose your P-Speed after a set amount of time. Once you jump, the game just doesn't want you flying forever. So losing that tail in the fortress, pretty intentional near the end, so he can jump over that H.
Yeah, in general, unless you need to be flying for some reason, either in the stage you're in or maybe in the next stage, you don't want to have that tail. You want to have maybe Big Mario, Fire Mario, something like that. We see Lawso getting a bit of bad luck there, that Hammer Bro walking directly onto the spot he wanted to go on, so an extra star for Lawso. Not really going to be able to save a lot of time due to it, so just kind of just a base straight-up time loss there.
Yep. Hammer Bros are in the tank for Horsedad today.
Yeah, there's been a lot of really interesting luck from Lawso. I don't want to say all bad luck, because he did get those boxless World 4 Bros, but a lot of things that you don't see all the time with those Hammer Bros, so he's been kind of dealing with it as best he can, whereas Horsedad's had pretty straightforward luck, hasn't had to do anything too crazy. So Lawso decides to keep that tail coming out of 6F2, but uses it there to take some damage and use the iframes to build that P-Speed for the H. There's a few different strats to get over the H in 6-8. I've been meaning to go through in time, which one's faster and whatnot, but I haven't gone through that yet, so it's really ends up being more whatever strat you tend to be comfortable with. So Horsedad moving into the World 6 airship, as we see Lawso is going to try and go for this 6-10 route.
He loses P-Speed there, which is not good for him and his team.
Yeah, in general, you want to try and keep your P-Speed. You can actually keep it all the way underneath there and grab the Fire Flower with P-Speed and keep it throughout the rest of the level. But very, very difficult to do. And it's a strat that really only shows up here in Warpless and as kind of a backup strat as well. So it's a very rarely used strat, very difficult strat to do. But Lawso's going to use this fire, hopefully to his advantage here in a few more stages.
We'll get the Boom Boom fire kill too, but...
Yeah, he'll get a Boom Boom fire kill. He might be able to fire kill Lemmy. It'll also help out in 7-2 a little bit. Make that a little bit faster for him. So you can almost kind of break even without getting that P-Wing, but it does still lose a little bit of time over getting the P-Wing, actually. So Horsedad about to move into the Lemmy fight, so he's about the entirety of the World 6 airship ahead. But he'll be moving on to 7-1. He wants to make sure he keeps Big Mario throughout this Lemmy fight. Oh, he actually jumps on the ball instead of Lemmy there. He had a little bit of a late jump, so he's going to...
This is interesting.
A little perilous.
He does keep that mushroom.
Yeah, okay, so he wants to keep that mushroom because coming up here in 7-1, you can actually clip into the stage and just kind of skip over the majority of it, but you need to be Big Mario to do the clip the easiest way. There is a way to do it as Small Mario, but it's very, very difficult to do. So how many tries at the 7-1 clip do you think we're going to see from Horsedad here?
42.
42. That's a lot. That's a lot of attempts at the clip.
That is a number.
That is indeed a number.
I'm gonna get a first try now that I said that, but I'm gonna stand by it.
And there's the macaroni and cheese from Horsedad. First try 7-1 clip.
At least Karua got it.
Do you think Karua and Rick in my... You think they called that before they saw it? I don't know. We can't tell because it's spring delay.
Rick, I think, is a dirty cheater, but I'll give it to Karua.
All right. Oh, we see Lawso almost pulling off the fire kill there on Lemmy at the fastest, but did actually clean it up at the end there. So that's a really cool fire kill to watch. You just kind of get yourself stuck in between the wall and Lemmy and just spam fireballs until he dies.
So Lawso picks up a little time on Horsedad there in the Lemmy fight itself, but that 7-1 clip is known as one of those spots. Yo, shoutouts to King Glib.
Hey, that's me.
7-1, one of those spots where runs can swing in all directions, and Horsedad got it on the first try. You can't do it faster than that. At least, significantly so.
Can't.
So Lawso trying to match it. Oh, no. He's going to get 42 tries.
It looks like he might have gotten sub-pixeled there, so he kind of did everything right, but didn't quite have the right sub-pixel positioning to get in there. Having some difficulty here, getting some good attempts.
Horsedad gonna cloud over the actual worst level in the game in 7-4.
Not a single person voted for 7-4 as worst stage of the game.
I voted for 7-4.
No, everybody voted for 5-9.
It was a write-in.
I'll give you a write-in.
Wow.
I don't know what that was supposed to mean.
So Horsedad using a P-Wing here because this is a this fortress is another one of those puzzle levels where you just need to fly and you need a tail at some point. P-Wing just makes it a little easier. Lawso just giving up with the clips and going into the stage. 7-1, the stage is a vertical kind of screen wrapping pipe stage. The worst thing about it from a speedrunning perspective is just the pipe transition time, just eating up any hope of doing this level quickly.
Yeah, unless you have like a P-Wing and you can just fly up the top of it, the stage is very, very slow to get through. So you can kind of see here what the benefit of getting the getting that clip really does help.
Even with a P-Wing, I think you still must take at least 2 pipe transitions early on in the level. So you're kind of stuck with it. Horsedad flying over the top of 7-6, free stage there. 7-8. He's going to use that tail. 7-8, one of the few tail stress levels.
And he lost his speed there at the end of that star. Some very, very close maneuvers there to keep at least his big and just kind of use that to damage boost through and get to the end of the stage.
Also setting up for 7-2 here, takes the damage boosts.
Yeah, that's another little benefit of having that Fire Flower, is instead of having to use the star to kind of clear out that Nipper, you can just use your Fireball to kill him and then use your Fire Flower as a bit of a damage boost. So Lawso able to get through 7-2. Meanwhile, we see Horsedad in 7-9 and actually decides just to play over top of the stage. Kind of an interesting choice here. I know he did have a problem with 7F2 early on, actually a couple times in this tournament. So deciding to go the 7-9 route here, but doesn't pick up like a mushroom to just try and clip through. He's just going to go straight through as Small Mario.
Not even getting the last mushroom. I mean, admittedly, next stage should be the airship, which does have 2 power-ups that are a lot faster to grab.
Yeah, so definitely, since he's deciding just to stay as Small Mario, he's definitely just going to use his music box to put the plant to sleep, use the cloud to skip over 7F2.
Always use the music box
straight
first.
Into the airship. So yeah, as you mentioned, World 7 airship does have 2 power-ups on it. It is the longest airship in the game. Even though it scrolls at normal speed, unlike the World 4 airship, it's just twice as long, so it does end up being the longest auto-scroller of the run. But yeah, the one benefit, you do have 2 power-ups, so no matter what state you come in here as, you can leave with Fire Mario.
You can kind of see here, too. The 7-1 clip is pretty cruel. Lawso basically half of World 7 behind right now, having to have played 7-1, so it's just one of those things. It's unfortunate that it happened, but...
Yeah, it's just one of those that a lot of times... as I mentioned, sometimes you don't really even have control over it. You can do everything right, but just not have that correct sub-pixel value and just not make it. So it's a really brutal stage. We have seen it definitely swing quite a few races here in this tournament.
Horsedad getting that second power-up here, getting onto the sort of open-air section of the airship. Not sure why you would install one of those, but Ludwig did.
He's got like multiple airships. He's got a whole fleet. I mean, these ones right here are kind of small, but like he's got a couple of pretty decently sized ships.
Are these like the lifeboats?
Probably, maybe. I don't know. That one doesn't even have a propeller though, so I don't even know how. Like these ones are just these are just there. There's no even like they're not even trying to fool you on this one.
The bolts are actually magnets.
Is that what it is? Just all magnets? How do they work?
It's all magnets. There are magnets.
Okay.
And there are other like bigger magnets on the bigger ships.
Okay. Yep.
And things kind of work.
I'm willing to believe that. That sounds right to me. So we see Lawso going through the 7-9 clips. So he's actually using these clips here to get through the stage. I believe if you get through it in about 8 total clips, it's a little bit faster than going through the stage itself. Looks like he's having a pretty good shot here. He's got to get this last clip though. As we see a 43.03 wand grab for Horsedad.
So with that, I'm going to type start in chat. And
why are you going to type start in chat, Mr. Cab? What is that for?
Well, like the Speed Gaming bot there just said, there are some hands in World 8 that may or may not force you to play a stage and lose a bunch of time. There are 3 of these levels, so between both players... Hypothetically, there's 6, although if they take a death, there could be more. We just want the Speed Gaming supporters out there to kind of guess how many hands we're going to see. And there's a leaderboard, I'm told, in the background for who's guessing how many of these things correctly.
I think we've got a couple people that have 3 correct guesses. I think that's the last time I saw the leaderboard. I think we had a couple people at 3. So I'm interested to see... Do we just like crown whoever wins this as like the most psychic Speed Gaming viewer of all time?
Something like that.
All right. There'll be like an MS Paint trophy or something, I'm sure.
Maybe someone will buy him a sub. I don't know. You pin that on me if it comes down to it. I've got $5.
All right. You heard it here first. Mr. Cab just gonna throw the money down. You were saying, though.
World 8 is kind of the auto-scroller alley of Mario 3. So there's just a lot of Bowser's armed forces here. Not all of them in the air. We've got the tanks. We've got the super tanks. We've got the Navy. There's an Air Force too. But most of what you can do here is just kind of stand around and wait for the stage to go by. Although Horsedad is doing some lag reduction strats there. There's a lot of lag from these bombs. The first one of these levels, though, has a boomerang brother at the end, as opposed to Boom Boom. Sockless.
Ooh, getting the rangless, so that's a little bit of luck there. Horsedad getting that boomerang bro to walk forward and not throw his boomerang before getting shot by the fireball. Since the game waits until every enemy or thing that can hurt you is off screen, if you can kill that boomerang bro before he throws one, actually does save a couple seconds, but it's completely based on luck. So the good luck continues here for Horsedad. We see about a 45-43-1 grab for Lawso. So Horsedad with a pretty comfortable lead. Really kind of is his race to lose at this point. But World 8, you never know what could happen in this world. There's some very, very difficult stages here. And shout outs to King Cab.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Why do you get to be the king of World 7? I'm the king of World 8.
Because the Mets had 4. No, that guy's clearly wearing a Vikings helmet.
Right, but I'm the Vikings fan here. We have to talk to Lawso about his names.
Respect the God of Thunder here. Come on, let's go.
Fine.
I guess we shouldn't include religion in this conversation.
Yeah.
It is worth mentioning, yes, you can swim underneath the Navy. It is slower, though, because you won't be able to get in this pipe as soon as possible. It's also a little riskier.
We don't see a whole lot of boat swag there from Horsedad. Boat swag, very important. Definitely not some stupid superstition we made up to garner hand luck. But we don't see a lot of it from Horsedad.
Well, by the time you hear me say that, it's probably already too late.
I already typed stop in chat.
Get a guess in.
I'm sorry.
No, I've got it pre-typed. Get wrecked, Horsedad.
See the first hand from Horsedad. 95% chance on that first hand, it seems like. Even though technically they're all 50-50, first hand's like 95%.
The first hand just always appears. I still claim to have control over the first hand, so we'll see how many of the other hands decide to help Lawso out here. That's 2.
Of course, that gets grabbed by the second hand as well. Luckily, the second hand is the shortest of the 3, but obviously still wastes time over not having to play the stage.
Given that Lawso's still not in the Navy, at least getting one hand isn't that bad for Horsedad. Gives him an extra tail. He's going to get all 3 here.
Nice 1 and 8 from Horsedad. Unfortunately, he got the wrong 1 and 8. Got all 3 hands.
Also, though, still not on a boat.
Yeah, so Horsedad's still going to maintain this lead, even though he did get all 3 hands. So it's just going to come down to whether or not he can execute throughout the rest of this run and take this victory.
Well, and Horsedad, too. Even if something weird happens on the Air Force level here, just gets to jump right back in, and with a tail on the second try.
Yeah, really, really nice to have a power-up, either like a Fire Flower or a tail here in the airship. Lets you take care of these rocky wrenches without having to really worry about the wrenches they're tossing around. But, you know, this is still a difficult auto-scroller. Moves twice as fast as any other auto-scroller. Like, pretty much, you know, we've seen Karua die right there during the relay. You know, this stuff happens on this auto-scroller.
It is not a trivial level, especially if you decide to take hammers onto it, because you're crazy and you take them out of 7-8. That's where I usually lose them, on the airship.
Yeah. So Horsedad moving into 8-1. This is one of the most technical stages of the entire run. Really got to do some very fancy maneuvering here. Looks like Horsedad going for the early P-speed and does pull it off. Able to crouch through and maintain it. Very beautiful 8-1 here from Horsedad.
Perfect. Also going to cross the bridge. Horsedad several stages ahead at this point.
And we see Lawso getting also grabbed by the 95% hand. Horsedad with a beautiful 8-2, maintains that P-speed all the way up the climb.
Lawso getting a clip at the end here, while Horsedad into 8-4-2.
We see a 5th hand.
How many times have we seen 5 in this tournament?
I don't know, not too many. We've seen at least, usually like one runner gets okay luck. 5 is pretty up there. I think I guessed 5 though, so maybe the game just wants me to be right. And both runners getting the reverse 1 and 8.
The hands showing no favoritism today.
I guess the hands just really don't want the Mario 3 tournament to be over. They just want to, you know, make sure we see as much as possible.
The good fans of speed gaming wanted more content.
Yeah, there we go. Horsedad with a really nice 8 Fortress, by the way. It's able to get into that door with just one P-switch. Saves a pretty good chunk of time. So really, really solid normal stage section of World 8 here for Horsedad. And he's moving on to the Super Tanks.
Now, what's the name of this strat?
So there's this. Oh, Horsedad's already abandoned it. So this stage is actually the legitimately easiest stage in the entire game. You can actually just stand on the right the whole time, and emphasis on standing on the right the whole time. Shoot out fireballs and jump anytime it looks like you need to jump, and you'll actually get to the stage without any trouble. You'll never get hit. It's a strat that I developed by myself. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And I think the current name of the strat is the world-famous, patented, Day 1 affiliate, Oglib Super Tank Strat TM with a Vengeance. I probably missed 1 or 2 modifiers in there, but I think that's where we're at.
Still a pretty cool name.
I like it. You know, people just keep adding stuff onto it. I think I made it like world famous and patented, and then everything else is just something somebody else has added along the way. So, but yeah, Horsedad making his way through the autoscroller. Like I mentioned earlier on in the race, these autoscrollers have no RNG to them. So if you find a strat that works, that doesn't get you hit, then you kind of just do that every single time, and everything's fine. You see Lawso with a very nice 8-1 as well, getting that P speed.
Very nice. Except for a couple of stages, Lawso's had a pretty good run.
So Horsedad moving into Bowser's Castle now.
Losing P-speed, so he's not going to go for that clip.
Yeah, there is a clip you can do at the beginning of Bowser's Castle. Saves about 1.5 seconds if you get it, but loses a little bit if you don't. But it becomes a lot harder to get if you don't have P-speed. So Horsedad just deciding to take it easy here. Goes up to the top section, maintains his P-speed through the statue room. And looks like he's 35 fireballs away from victory here. It's a pretty straightforward Bowser pattern, able to clean it up. And looks like Horsedad will take the victory here.
Nice. Time is when he enters that door, and RaceBot is reporting a 53-27. GG Horsedad.
So Lawso, unable to get that first P-switch cycle, decides to just swag it out there, clips into the door here, and we'll just wait out this last P-switch before he goes and fights this Boom Boom. We'll see if Horsedad wants to get in here for an interview.
I hate that Nintendo actually patched All-Stars, so you can't do that clip Lawso just
yeah, they moved the door over. I was so sad when I did that the first time. I was like, oh, we'll just do this, and then it doesn't even work. All right, looks like Horsedad
does the strat.
Is in for an interview here. Well, I think he might. I think he is a disciple of the strat. Oh, no, see, he's not on the right. Okay, he's going for the over strat.
Yeah.
I mean, what is, you know, it's fine. Like, it's swaggy, but it's not the strat, you know?
super tanks is that easy of a level. It's weird that it's just an auto-scroller that you actually do want to hug the front edge where the unknown supposedly lives.
Yeah, I mean, most of the other, well, all of the other auto-scrollers in the game will at some point put something right on that right side of the screen, so if you are hugging it, you'll take a hit, but this one just, they never put anything there. The only thing that can kind of almost get in your way is the bob-bombs, but you can actually just, by mashing that B button, kick them off screen and despawn them before they can really do anything to you, so it just ends up being very easy.
You do need that B to pick them up and kick them, though, because otherwise you just kind of stomp them, they don't get far enough ahead of the screen to despawn, and then they will explode in your face.
But Lawso moving into Bowser's castle is looking out his window with the chroma cam, gets the clip, easy clip.
Also going up here to do the most electrifying clip in gaming entertainment. People's clip. That clip was in Nintendo Power. You should all be doing it.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go for another clip here. This one actually loses time, but takes you all the way to a different Bowser fight.
The only other thing that I've seen done that I think would have been cool to see at some point here, but also short of P-Wing anyway, you can make it so Bowser does not shoot fireballs, which is kind of weird.
So now Lawso 35 fireballs away from finishing out his run.
I think Lawso is going to finish up with a 57 here, showing off that Bowser still has a hitbox.
Is he gonna? I think he will. Lawso's probably gonna meme out.
You have to.
Oh, gets the. Oh, he hit the corner there. For the clip.
He's got a few more seconds to try it.
He wants to get this clip, and also wants to get a 57. Very important.
Very important to get that casual 57. I don't know. When did 57 become like the Mario 3 time?
It was the last tournament. Well, it wasn't just the last tournament. It was also just like before that. No matter how much practice I would put into a game, I would get a 57 in like every single race. And so the casual 57 just became a meme. Once again, listen, like if there's a meme in this game, I'm probably involved in some capacity. That's probably something stupid I did at some point. But I think we are joined by Horsedad.
Oh.
And I think Lawso is here as well. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello, hello.
Horsedad, congratulations on your win. Lawso, I guess congratulations on not having to play Mario 3 anymore.
I mean, the prophecy has been fulfilled. Hashtag forever fourth.
Yeah, you might be the real winner tonight.
I really am.
Congratulations on your 4th place finish, Lawso. But yeah, I guess we'll start with Horsedad if you want to talk about your run, maybe any specific spots you want to talk about, anything you want to point out that happened during your run.
So my approach tonight was kind of just don't make the big mistake, because that's how I've lost basically any race I've lost, is just making a giant gaffe. That's what I was trying to do going in, but I think that actually in some ways worked against me, because I was almost cautiously in a lot of spots, and I missed a lot of stuff that I usually hit like over 90% of the time. Like I missed 4-1, I screwed up 4-6, like 7-8 I screwed up. I'm really consistent with that. So like I think it was like my best race overall, but I guess I did what I set out to do and avoided the big mistake.
Yeah, that's something that I think we've talked about too, like when you're kind of in that situation of, do I just go for the stuff that I always go for, even though it's riskier, or do I play it safer, even though I'm, potentially less comfortable with it? So, but overall, a pretty solid run for you. Another 53 in the books. Lawso, any specific spots you'd like to talk about? There's some really times during
that was a really run. Like the runaway was whatever. Like I 100% expected it, because I'm pretty sure Horsedad has had a runaway in all 3 of our races.
Oh wow!
I think I have.
And as soon as it walked away, I just went, "Yep, nope, that's karma. I deserved that." 7-1 existed. Like I saw he got first try clip, and then I got subpixeled like 3 times and went, "You just screw it. I just want to be done with this run."
Yeah,
like I'm not gonna stand here and just jump into this wall for the next 20 minutes. Like I just get me out of this level. Other than that, like those were like, I honestly, like, without 7-1, like I probably put up another 54 in this race.
Yeah, I think honestly a lot of your time loss or whatnot, a lot of it came down to just getting a little bit of sour luck here and there. Both of you got all 3 hands, so
yeah,
and like y'all had some interesting hammer bros. So
I'm bad at math. I'm bad at math. Can someone like do the what's 1 and 8 and 1 like times 1 and 8? Because
that's a 1 in 64 we just witnessed tonight.
Yeah, like that's. Yeah, no, that was crazy. No, like it was really just like. Yeah, like 7-1. I was 1 fireball short of the Lemmy fire kill. I was a little upset by that. I shot 1 fireball past him and then I got kicked out. 1 fireball short. It's like,
Oh, speaking of Lemmy, I remember something I wanted to bring up. Did you guys see my adventure?
Yeah, you had a fun Lemmy kill there as well. You hit the ball instead of Lemmy on the last one.
Oh my gosh, that was another example of I was trying to play it too safe. It almost got me in huge trouble. I was in terror for like 10 seconds there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I messed up the Wendy kill and like that was the most terrifying moment of my life.
Yeah.
And again, I was just trying to play it safe and like I was standing too far away from her.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta, I don't know, I gotta find that fine line because before I don't think I was maybe, taking some precautions that I should have, and then tonight I think I went too far the other way, so hopefully I can find that balance next race, I guess.
Alright, so speaking of that next race, Horsedad, you will move on to Losers Finals to face Cujo. I think you kind of talked a little bit, but you kind of trying to find that balance between strats to go for and kind of race-safe strats as you move into the next best of 3.
I'm glad I get to race him though because we were to meet. It looked like me down to the losers bracket, so I'm glad we get our match a little later than I thought or hoped it would happen. I guess, but we get it nonetheless.
Right, yeah, that should be an exciting matchup. I'm excited for that. Lawso, this is the end of your tournament road.
I know. I am incredibly happy about that.
So I think from the sounds of it, you probably won't be playing Mario 3, at least for the foreseeable future. Any other speed plans in your future?
I've got some ideas, but like, I don't know exactly what I'm like. So I've got a lot of things that I want to do, so I'm probably just going to end up playing WoW instead.
Yeah, that seems right.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Lawso, for your exciting runs and being the top memer of the entire tournament. I think that's without question. I do want to also thank you for putting all this together, assembling the troops for this tournament. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I do want to actually say thanks to everybody that. Dude, Krua, that was our secret. Why are you letting that out of the bag? I thought I could trust you.
Nobody actually considers the any % no wrong warp grind. Are you serious? That's the ultimate degenerate category.
But yeah, I did want to actually like say thank you to everybody that joined, like all the commentators, Speed Gaming for doing a lot, like so much of the work. I'm just an idiot that made a challenge in a Discord, and I needed help making the Discord, so. But yeah, I just huge shout outs to like all our commentators, Glib and Windchuck Attacks again, both helped a lot in the organization and running of the tournament. And yeah, like I said, Speed Gaming and like everybody, like I did not expect to have as many people sign up as we had. Like I was, like we blew away the original tournament by like 2 weeks after I announced it. So Yeah, that was pretty awesome. So yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody that came out and made this such a roaring success. You guys are all awesome.
Thanks for going for third door.
Yeah, appreciate the third door attempt.
Yeah, I almost went for Skyfort clip.
I thought I had it in the back of my mind. I wasn't going to mention in case you didn't go.
I went into the stage and I went, he's like 30 seconds ahead of me. This race is pretty much over. I should go for it. And I was like, nah.
I don't know, man. The 2 races that you've beat me, I think I've had like pretty sizable leads, and then I just choked.
Not in World 5 though. Like the thing, like our earlier races, I kept close enough. Like I was like 10-15 seconds behind in the 2 races I won.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't until like World 6 where you really started to take the lead on me. But yeah, it was you were definitely at that point where it was like you were basically, because like I was watching the restream, you were basically like stream delay ahead of me. So however long it takes for the restream to capture our stream it to these guys for them to talk about it, and then them stream it to everybody else, like. It's kind of funny, because anytime Glib would say something like you were doing, it was just like, oh, I'm doing that right now. That's cool.
Yeah, well, before I head out here, I just kind of want to echo the same thing that Lawso said, like, thanks. Well, mainly to Lawso, I guess, for getting it going, and then all the extra help, commentators and everybody. And yeah, thanks for racing me 4 times, Lawso.
Yeah, maybe... Like maybe someday we'll get some more races in whenever I decide to look at this game again.
Because actually we split in the tournament. 2-2.
Yeah, we did. We're 2-2, so we got to get a rubber match in there somewhere.
Yep.
Maybe SGDQ next year. Since I'm pretty sure
round 5.
Pretty sure I still owe you one. I don't think we ever got one in at SGDQ this year. So.
Ups, man. I'm still looking for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take off, but thanks Glib, Cab, Lawso, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for the race, man. GG.
Yeah,
good luck in the next round.
Yeah, thanks Horsedad, thanks Lawso for the race. Thanks Mr. Cab for joining me on the mic.
Thank you, Glib, for joining me.
We will look ahead here, see what we've got on the Speed Gaming family of networks tonight. Looks like over on Speed Gaming 5, there's a Mega Man 2 randomizer going on right now. Speed Gaming 2 has the Link to the Past randomizer daily race. And looks like over on Speed Gaming 4, there is currently the Super Metroid Link to the Past combo randomizer co-op tournament. Say that 5 times fast. And looks like here on Speed Gaming 1, at the top of the hour, we'll have a Zelda 1 randomizer race. So lots of different action, tons of stuff to check out. If you enjoy all that stuff, be sure to stay tuned to any of the Speed Gaming family of networks. I know we're kind of winding down this tournament, so we don't have any races on the schedule just yet, but as soon as we get those scheduled, we'll let you know. But that's going to do it for us. Do want to give one big shout out to Tech, all the boys over at Speed Gaming for doing all the hard work behind the scenes, letting us just sit here and talk about video games. But with that, I think that's going to do it for us. Say goodnight to the people, Mr. Cab.
Good night to the people, Mr. Cab.